Welcome as we continue our study of Colossians in chapter 3, verse 7, among whom you also walked at one time when you were living in these. So walked is peripateo, and it comes from peri, which is sort of through or around or about, and then pateo, which is to tread or trample. Its literal meaning is to tread about or tread around. So really, though, what the word walk is talking about, and we want to clarify this because you hear this get used, and people they'll say your Christian walk and use the term that way. But the word walk really encompasses the entirety of how you live and conduct yourself. It's a um, very broad word because it covers everything in your life. So once or at one time is poti, and it really just it comes from some obsolete words that are no longer used, like poo, um, but it really just means sort of formally at some time previous to this one, once before. So this is something that is gone, right? It was a previous moment. And then our next word is living, which is zeo, and it just means to live. What's interesting though is this is in the imperfect tense, and we don't talk about that a lot. Imperfect tense is not one that we really have an equivalent to in English. Um, the closest thing we have, so it's a non-complete action. It's the closest thing we have is maybe if I said I used to ride my bike a lot as a kid. So the phrase implies that it was an action I did quite frequently at a former time. It wasn't a one and done kind of deal. I did it all the time. And so that's really interesting here because it's saying at a previous time. So it's not saying that you never ever do any of these things anymore. Obviously, that's what we would like, right? That's perfection is to or the goal is perfection, right? It's not something that we can attain before the second coming, but that is the goal. That is our target, right? It's to live the way that we should live in heaven, or the way that we will live in heaven, or in the kingdom. And so it's saying that previous to now, you did these things all the time. That's who you were then. So just through that, it's implied that we've moved on from that. We've been saved, and we talked about that. That was how the chapter started. So that's not who we are anymore. We don't do these things now. We have moved on from them. We're growing now. We're becoming more like Christ. So we are no longer a child of our son of disobedience. And so, because of that, that we should continue to put those things, those deeds to the death.